I mean, as much as it's old, it wouldn't even work. I don't know. And it took about 1,000. Generally have, we lose about, when happens, we have 1,000 customers out or 6 customers out. We've had more outages this year, I think, than typically. But they haven't been here. But I'm not, when are you talking about using high blood at your house? Yeah. A month ago? Friday. Yeah. Couldn't pay hardly. Yeah, there were a couple trees right there. You know, right there on Locust, Faulkner. There were a couple trees that were just leaning really bad. They cut them down. They fall within like 2 weeks later. You know, Michelle Phillips used to have her CPA, right? She sold it to somebody fair and cut in. Anyway, there was another tree right there that just snapped off about halfway up, which is just weird. Typically, when the ground gets saturated like that, the trees just fall over. The ground was holding down. It was just breaking off. I guess avoid some of the extreme like the droughts, you know, out west, and we've been real fortunate. Oh, me neither, Fletcher. But you know, last February, or a year ago February, I mean, who would have expected 2 weeks of sub-freezing temperatures? Sometimes, you know, even below zero, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So, anyway. And, you know, there you might have seen some articles already talking about power supply shortages this summer. So, I don't expect anything here because our zone is pretty, has a pretty good capacity, pretty long capacity. But there's other parts of MISO where they just don't have it. They don't have it.
He's a solar unit just west of us out here in Bologna or in White County. I don't know who's building it, but I thought Conway maybe.
We are.
Oh, it's Conway.
Yeah, well, in White County, yeah. I say we're building it. That's not exactly the case. Lightsource BP is building it. We just contracted with them to take all the output. So we have a long-term purchase power agreement. Maybe in 5 or 7 years, 10 years, they'll want to sell it to us. I don't know.
Could we possibly get half of the power from there?
No, that's 25%. Yeah, 25% of our power will come.
We've got a little more edge.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Natural gas prices are higher than they've been since 2008. When you look at your bill, you'll see a power cost adjustment there. And let's say you use 1,000 kilowatt hours, it's going to be $30. It ain't been like that in a long, long time. So it ain't going to get better until those prices go down or our coal plants start running. One of the two. Because the market power is just so expensive.
So the lights on now. I mean, we're being recorded now. So everything you just said has been recorded.
Well, it's true, so I don't mind. It's the truth. So I'll shut up now, though. Sorry.
So who are we lacking? Is Steve McGee not coming, I guess?
He's still got a minute or two.
Time's
This month.
No, are you pilot's license? I did not know that. That's all. Social media post, you look like you were flying plane with your family. Is that new? Is that relatively new?
We're going to take a
I
flight.
did not know that.
I think that's why I'm on there. I'm a non-pilot. Brett and I'm a non-pilot.
Last year and.
I would encourage you to do it. I mean, it's just fun.
Yeah.
We used to charter some, we still do.
Don't do it much anymore.
Well, they pay us the same whether we drive all night or.
So when did you start?
2000 Oklahoma City this morning, drove all the way.
October of last year.
It was 54 degrees in Oklahoma
That's
City.
So I just wanted to
Wow.
It was like chilly.
That's what it's getting.
How did you do it that quickly? Did you have to took time? Where did you train here locally? Okay, wow.
I'm
trained.
I did my training. I actually studied my
1994
Driving, and somebody said something about flying. He said, you were to the netball. I said, you see any of those guys paying for an airplane?
We've done a few proposals, even timeshare on planes. You know, if we're gonna spend that kind of money, we're gonna buy a crane, so we can rent to somebody.
You see, you can read these.
Yeah, that's how it sounds.
We have 12 of them.
Just a little way.
That's not the way it works.
Yeah, that's our.
Ready? Okay.
For a couple days.
Shall we call the meeting to order?
Sorry.
All right, everybody, if you're finished.
I'm finished, yeah.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting in April, and if so, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's a minor point, but they had the next meeting in June, it's really May 26th, it's just a little typo. It's only I caught.
Well, with that correction, then I move to approve the
Okay.
minutes that's submitted.
All right, so, subject to that correction, is there all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And, Tyler, financials.
Yes, sir. So I've got just a print off of the report that's in your packet. Fuel sales, I know Tim probably talked about fuel sales. I think he usually goes over that every meeting as far as gallons and so forth go, but I'll just kind of hit that as far as how we're doing towards budget. You can see on that far right column, we've already collected half of our year's budget by the end of April, so we're about 2 months ahead of schedule there. Conversely, if you look at the aviation fuel expense account, we've spent close to, 58, a little over 58% of that budget. And I would guess that would just be due to the increase in fuel prices since the first of the year. At some point in time, if we exceed that budget, we may have city council appropriate a little bit of money just to cover that up. But we know, it's not anything wrong. We just know that fuel costs, quite a bit more than it did when we were preparing these budget numbers last year.
Tyler, is the best way to measure margin on fuel just to take the income on the top minus fuel expense and the fuel maintenance line item?
I wouldn't say that's the best way. I mean, that's gonna give you generally what our profit is on fuel is the revenue versus the expense. The variables in that equation are, I use each of those accounts as offsets to adjust our inventory accounts. So we have, our fuel inventory account that we now have on the balance sheet, which we used to not. I use the fuel expense account as the offset to make that number match what's actually in the tanks at the end of the month. And then to make our receivable balance agree with what's on the Satterfield statement, I adjust that sometimes a little bit, and I use the fuel sales account as the offset for that. And kind of the theory, the logic behind that is to make our receivable number match Satterfield's number, there's usually something in the sales. There'll be some sales that came in, somebody bought fuel on the 30th, and it may show up on one report, but not on the other until the next month.
But over a long period of time, that's a good way to measure gross margin, say over a 6-month period or a quarter.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I would say so.
All right.
And I presume that as our fuel expense costs go up, we increase the price that we charge to
I
our
don't know the
customers.
answer to that.
Yes, sir, we do. We
Okay.
increase the price. Sure
Okay,
do.
I think we'd have to.
And do we increase the price every time? So every time we get a load, then it comes at a different price than the previous load. So we sell out the load we have at whatever the price was,
Exactly.
and then we adjust the price every time we get a new
Price
load.
every
Right?
time.
Yeah, same way I did when I had a gas station.
Yeah. I just want, makes sense.
Yeah, so
It goes up just about every time too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
unbelievable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, to answer your question, in general, yes, sir, you take sales minus what our fuel cost was. Because other than those adjusting entries, that's the only thing that's being recorded in those two is fuel sales and fuel purchases.
Okay. Good, thank you.
You bet. Next revenue item I might point out there is the ground lease account. We kind of talked about that when I was before you gentlemen last month. That's the money that we were getting from Axiom for the lease of that building. So you can see, $26,136, and that's all we'll get. Now that closing has happened and the building is now owned by the city, there'll be no more revenue in that ground lease account. The state grant revenues, you can see there, we had a big month. We closed out the ADA grant on the maintenance hangar. So that was a good thing. And I guess we're still waiting on the closeout of the T-hanger grant. So we've got another 125 coming there that will show up in that account. in the state grant revenues. Miscellaneous revenues, that's a big number. I can't remember, I don't think I really went over this in detail last month, but that's a combination of actual miscellaneous sales such as the lavatory service, log books, and so forth. And then we've also used that account to record the reimbursements from Conway Aviation for the maintenance hangar. So if you look at the city council financials that go in there, I actually broke it out on theirs just to kind of be a little more transparent with city council. And it shows how much is Conway Aviation reimbursement and then how much is actual like miscellaneous sales. But this report is just strictly generated out of our software, so it's all lumped together there. Expenditures, the other professional services, it's showing we've already spent all that budget. There's actually a correction I need to make in that account. It's two bills we paid to Garver. One is for on-call services and another was marked as a bill on the T-hanger. So that T-hanger bill I'm gonna take out and put down into account 5903, where we've recorded all the other expenditures for the T-hanger so that they're together. So once I make that correction, we will no longer be fully spent budget-wise in the other professional services account. And that's it. That's about all I'm going to talk about, unless you gentlemen have any questions or
Tyler,
comments.
I got a question. So, and maybe you said this and I was looking at something else, but on the state grant revenue, so for the month we had 184,000, which is also the year-to-date number.
Mhm.
And that's a big reason why I guess our revenue is a good bit over our expenses. So are there some expenses related to that grant that are coming, or have we already spent the money? Is that a real true positive variance, or are we gonna eat that up in expenses related to that grant?
It's actually paying us back.
Oh, okay.
So
So we've already spent that money
Yes, sir.
then?
Yeah, we
Okay.
had, the majority of that expense was in last fiscal year.
Okay, gotcha.
So
All right.
now
So-
we're kind of making ourselves whole. so to
Gotcha.
speak.
Okay, I understand. Thanks.
Mhm. Yeah, we do. So on the expenditure side, the account 5903 is what we've used for the T-hanger. And the account just below that, 5990 CIP miscellaneous, is what we've used for the maintenance hangar.
All right.
So you can see we've spent, more than that 184 this year
Okay.
on the maintenance hangar, but the miscellaneous revenues is the offset to that. Those are mostly the reimbursements from Wheels Aviation, or Conway Aviation, not Wheels Aviation. So yeah, the building acquisition, what we spent on the T-hanger this year, once I make the correction for the Garver bill, it was about a little under 7,000.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have spent about 10,000 this year
Okay.
on the T-hanger. Yeah, most of that was last year's expense.
Thank you.
Any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the financials?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Thanks, Tyler.
Yes, sir. See y'all next month.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
So now we're gonna have the oral director's report. Is that right?
I left his notes,
Oh,
but I can add, I get the council's notes. I can pull those out of the council meeting and include those in our monthly meeting.
Great.
One that he said was detailed.
Yeah. All right, guys, last month, in March, as far as our jet fuel sales, we had 25,272, and I thought at that time, we'll probably exceed that in the month of May, in the month of April, which we did. Our fuel sales in jet for the month of April was 26,835. And coming up for this month in May, right now we're at about 20,000. And we got about 6 days left, so there's a possibility that we could exceed that or maybe go over that. I'm not 100% sure. It just kind of depends on the influx of traffic. I mean, we've seen 3,000 or 4,000 gallons in a week. Yeah, and last year in May, it was 16,866, so we're at 10,000 more already than what it was this time last year. Avgas. $4,584 in the month of April. It's a little bit less than what it was last month. Last year at this time, it was about 1,200 more. So the price of fuel going up has definitely got a hit on us as far as traffic coming in. I mean,
Mhm.
you can probably attest to that, Jeff, much as you fly.
Yeah.
Look at the prices at the gas pump that's been changing.
I know,
I mean, it's
yeah, it's,
horrendous.
it is.
What's 100 low at now? The price?
680, what is it, 686?
750 in Baton Rouge.
Wow.
And self-serve is always 50 cents cheaper, so.
Yeah.
We had 1,200 landings. So I can't remember what the landings were from this time last month, was it
They're averaging about that much.
about 1,200 a month? Robbie had got with us last month on the tie downs.
Yeah.
And Garver, we got a proposal from Garver and would give it to Robbie on where to place them, how to place them, the width, depth. So Robbie's brought a proposal to me that I accepted, that he's gonna do all the work, four tie downs at a cost of about $1,500. So,
Cheaper than I thought.
yeah, it is cheaper than what I thought too. Any questions on any of that? Oh, yeah, we had a guy come out about the roof's leak. Any leaks in your roof?
Not that I saw.
We had two that was leaking pretty bad.
Well, yeah, they're leaking.
What you tell them? Well, you know more about it as far as the
It's
contractors.
A3 and B3 are leaking. And we had Napolts come out and we had PI roofing come out. And what's happening is the screws are backing out. And that's what's gonna happen, is we're gonna have to budget X number of dollars each year, because they said right now in 2014, a lot of the screws are backing out, and they're gonna have to wall the entire hangar length and screw them down, and, whatever they do, we probably need to do it preventively and not wait until we start getting calls. But we only have two right now.
Is the wind to blame for that?
I don't know.
You get seasons, hot, cold, buildings grow, buildings shrink, and some of them just pop up over time. Are they the gasketed kind of screws too?
Yeah.
Sometimes the gasket disintegrates and allows water, so you just gotta swap them out and screw them down over time. What'd you say they were put in?
8 years. You say it was not 2014?
Mm-hmm.
So about 8 years. Is that about, yeah. They don't last forever, do they?
There's not a whole lot of penetrations to those roofs, right? So it has to be the screws. It's not gonna be the laps.
You can see by the pictures that he took, some of the little seals are missing.
Yep. It shouldn't be a ton of money, but it does need to be done.
Definitely needs, yeah.
About the main terminal, is it leaking any?
We still got it.
It's never quit.
It's never, that area that we've had trouble with all this time, it still leaks.
And what would that be? The southeast corner, I guess? Is that where that is?
Yeah, both corners there. Yeah, but as far as the building you're talking about, yeah,
Terminal.
on both sides there. And they've been out there and looked, and
It's a lot better than it was.
yeah, it's better than it was.
Those are the only two places left that are actually leaking.
Did any damage? On sheetrock progress?
Floor, sheetrock, wallpaper, stuff like that. But all been replaced, and they've just kind of stopped.
Who works on this? Is Corco who built that building?
Yes, sir.
They actually came in and didn't charge us anything.
Really?
And we'd still have a problem in the pilot's lounge. For some reason, was it the south wall started
wall.
turning pink? Somebody said that's mold. So they came in and they tore the wall down, everything. And I mean, they sealed it with something, and now it's already peeling off. So they've already been out, and they're gonna come out and do whatever. I don't know, does pink mean that it's mold?
I think we built that wall so that we could put in a hamburger grill too. Have something to do with that.
Which may happen yet.
Yeah.
Tim, how's workload on the ramp with that increase in jet traffic?
How's what now?
Workload on the ramp with the increase in jet
We
traffic?
I'm glad you said that, because we just hired another part-time guy.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Names, he's got two first names. I get confused all the time. What is it? Evan, yeah, Evan Dillon.
Evan Dillon?
Evan's his first name and Dillon's his last name.
He does have two first
I can
names.
imagine how I'm doing out there. Hey, Dillon, I'm in Devon. But he's a nice young man, doing a good job, and not to say we still need more help. I mean,
Sure.
you know, like I said, Philip's leaving and at the end of June,
So in a month?
in a month, yep. More mowing, more, everything.
So, how old is Dylan?
How old is he?
Yeah, Evan Dylan?
20 maybe? I think he's
20.
Do you have any experience at all, or?
Just been training him up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he does have his pilot's license.
Oh, he does?
He's working on his instrument rating right now.
So he's not foreign to aircraft, and that's good.
Yeah, he's not foreign to it, exactly. Exactly.
Has there been any discussion about, when Philip leaves, outsourcing the mowing? And just contracting for it?
Didn't somebody say that Bart had mentioned something about that here not too long ago about possibly outsourcing that?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who he said it. He didn't say it to me, but
What do you mean by outsourcing?
just outsourcing the mowing,
Contracting.
all the mowing, contract, having somebody come in and do it.
Contract, as opposed to somebody.
somebody-
Did the city take that over? With the,
Well, the city, we've tried to get them out there, and I guess they're just so busy, they just can't get their workloads to a point where they can come out and help us.
During mowing season, is it full-time?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, we got 460 acres out there
Yeah.
that we take care of.
Yeah.
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 And with rain like this, it'll push us back another week and a half now
Yeah.
that we get back to that same hole.
Still using a backhoe.
He drives that zero turn, just a zero turn.
Zero turn, then you got that big tractor,
Big tra-
the big bush hog.
I get on the big tractor with the big bush hog and take care of all the big stuff.
Does anyone cut hay off of that? I wonder.
Yes, sir, we do. We
Okay,
got
I'm just curious.
probably, I'm gonna say maybe 80 or 90 acres of it that
Okay.
we have cut for hay
Okay.
twice a year, yes, sir. Yeah.
anything else?
No, sir.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve the director's report?
So move.
Second.
Second, yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's see, you already covered fuel cells, I guess, in your report. huh?
Yes, sir. Jordan.
Barbara,
Don't have anything official or formal to report this month. Not much has happened since last month. I did provide Lloyd and Tim with the exhibit for the tie downs, as they mentioned. I'll just add that when they actually install them and they lay them out, make sure they keep them at least 2 feet away from a joint. Otherwise, when they go to cut that concrete, you'll likely get the remaining concrete between there and the joint will crack. So
Make sure 2 feet,
at least 2 feet away
okay,
from the
away from the
joint.
joint.
Yep,
Okay.
so, I can update the exhibit to include that note if you guys want me to, just so.
I appreciate
remember
that,
that. We submitted the CIP last month, that you guys approved, so,
Copy of it.
what's that?
I have a copy of it.
Okay, good. But yeah, hadn't heard anything else out of the FAA on that really. And then, I owe, Tim and Lloyd a reimbursement letter for the ADA. I'll get that to you guys tomorrow, so we can get you guys reimbursed for the T hangar, the remaining $125,000. That usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks to process, but, we'll get that and get that turned around. But be happy to answer any questions you guys have for anything.
Jordan, when you update the 5-year plan, all this stuff just backs up.
Yeah, that's just backup information. It's there's a report for each project, and it just kind of gives some justification. That way, somebody who's not been on the airport and hadn't seen it, they kind of paint a picture for them of why you guys need that project and what the issues are. So
Well, I know we made priority the joint repair and all that kind of stuff, so it moved on this. Then the years it was planned was different in this, so.
I think I updated, or I thought I updated those. I may have missed one.
Well, I was just circling going, I don't think they moved that up to the right year.
I may have missed one.
Okay.
But yeah, typically that's, you update the priority number based on where it falls on the CIP.
But anytime you revise this, the dates in this also need to change, which year you're gonna do it in.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
might be a few boo-boos in there.
that's correct. Okay, I'll go back and double check it.
That question, George, remember last week we was talking about those, what is that, 60 by, was it 60 by 60 and then 160 by 80 hanger?
Mhm.
We was talking about the width, citation going into that particular hanger. Was we talking about that, or?
Yeah, we talked about that at the last meeting a little bit.
Okay. Do you remember what you said about that?
So, what I do remember about that is we have to, the maximum we can offset the hangers from the existing pavement is about 10 feet. Otherwise, we get too close to the ditch, the concrete ditch in the back.
10 feet?
Yeah, 10 feet. So the idea, you won't put the 80 by 60 as the first hanger.
Mhm.
That way they don't have to taxi through where the wingtip clearance, shortens up quite a bit. But we'll also need to move that marking over. Right now where the T hanger is, you've got, I think, 20 additional feet of wingtip clearance beyond what's required.
Yeah, I see what you mean now.
And so if we move it over closer to the T hanger, that'll give you more wingtip clearance, but it'll still just be for group one, so it'll be up to the small King Airs
Okay.
for wingtip clearance. The small King Airs and like a Citation Mustang.
The way we do it right now, we do that on a regular basis because we've got a citation in our, what we keep in the wash rack area.
Mhm.
If you follow the center line all the way, I mean, you got plenty of clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're coming around that row of T-hangers that you're talking about on A section there,
Mhm.
button up to where the ditch is and the grass area, you're saying you can only go, what, 10 feet from the concrete back?
Yeah, you can only offset it 10 feet back, otherwise you get into the
That's
ditch.
what you mean, yeah. It would be close.
Yeah, because I think right now, at the 10 feet, I think it provides like 5 feet between the back of the hanger and the edge of the concrete for the ditch. So yeah, you
Okay.
wouldn't be able to go back any further than that.
I wanted to ask about the small corporate hangar project. I know you're doing a feasibility study in that right now, right?
I think it's done.
It's done.
Yeah, he's got us the diagrams and we've got a quote to put in a septic tank.
How much is that?
15,000.
I wondered about that. I mean, given the fact that distance from there to the bathroom and on the north side of the B hangar, do we really need a bathroom there? Maybe people that are, when I have a small corporate hangar, want that as a convenience, but that's a pretty big expense.
And from us looking at it, it's not really complete. You want to say, put a septic tank in and we don't want, but it has, we're gonna do the septic tank, but you're gonna have to be responsible for boring under the road and doing other things or electrical. And I think we want a turnkey. We want to say, we want the septic tank put in. When it's done, it's done. So I think somebody's gonna have to go back to, whether, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't moved forward on that any, just because, the way the financial report was last month, so I was just, kind of sitting on hold for that. But yeah, a little bit of work is, I think I had it quoted or estimated about 150 total project to, provide your septic, provide electrical, and then provide water as well. And if you guys don't want to provide don't want them to be able to have bathrooms, we could do away with septic possibly, but it'd be up to you guys and the guys that want to build the hangars, what they're wanting to do and whatnot. But, you could apply for a state grant to cover 90% of that project estimate.
I think it might be worthwhile then. I mean, it'd be nice to have an extra bathroom there, and I suppose that would be available to anybody else in the T hangars as well, right?
But anybody that builds a corporate hangar over there could put a bathroom in and use a septic tank, yeah.
I mean, but if there's a bathroom, would it be available to the public at large? Or?
No, it'd just be, each corporate hangar has their own bathroom.
Oh, each one would?
Yeah, if they want to do that. Well,
They're expensive, right?
yeah, at their expense. I mean, it's essentially their hangar to do what they want within reason and within, the lease terms and everything, the land lease terms that is. But a lot of guys that build corporate hangars do like to have their own bathrooms out there.
Sure.
So is there a corporation that wants a hangar, or are we just teeing this up?
Yes, I-
Prospective corporation.
There's been a couple that's actually came to us and.
There's some inquiries,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Sure is.
So what's the process? I mean, they're interested and they want to know how much. And now we know kind of how much, what it's going to take. And did they commit at some point in time and that triggers us to go apply for a grant or?
The two that are interested have said that if we want earnest money or whatever, they would put money down, that they're interested enough to do that. Jim Hinkle and,
He's got a citation, right?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
and Neil Newell, he's somebody he's got a business in North Little Rock.
Neil Newell?
Would they be in a position to put up the 10 match? I mean, 90% is from the state and we are short on cash. with
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly an alternative or an option you guys could look at, whatever the land lease is for, X amount of years, they may be willing to front it. Say, hey, I'll pay my land, or pay this many years of the land lease up front, so that covers the, the match on the grant.
Right.
And then you can go ahead and put that in, and that's,
I think we'd want to do that.
I've seen that done, yeah, I've seen other people
wanna
do that
have-
before.
Lease signed up with them.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's doing the lease work on that now, the city attorney's office or? I did initially years ago.
Yeah, that's who it usually ends up.
Yeah.
That's the only way we could swing up financially right now, right? It's-
Seems like it, yeah, it seems like it.
Who do you deal with the city attorney's office these days, you know? Who do you deal with?
Oh,
Charles Finkenbeiner.
Mhm.
Any other questions of Jordan? If so, if not, is there a motion to approve the Garver report? Have a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's see, new director discussion.
Yep, so the search committee interviewed 5 candidates. A retired lieutenant colonel, aviator, who lives in the area, a federal employee who manages the Camp Robinson, airfield, and is also a helicopter guy by aviation background, but his federal job is a civilian job managing the airport. Administrative director of an airport in California, an internal candidate, Hunter Rusall, and then a gentleman who owns or has owned multiple FBOs in the past. He's owned aircraft leasing and sales organization, and also an aviation fuel trucking company that he started to actually truck Jet A and 100 load that around to his FBOs. And we narrowed it down to 3, the internal candidate, as well as the federal aviation manager and the former FBO owner. And 2 of those have been interviewed by the mayor this week, and the third one will be interviewed on Tuesday. So our job as the search committee and board is effectively done. Our job was to hand 2 to 3 candidates over to the mayor, which we did, and he's the HR department now is doing background checks on all 3 candidates. They're also doing reference checks on all 3 candidates, and then the mayor's interviewing them. So I expect a decision to be imminent in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 business days.
Soon.
I would think so.
When would he start?
I'm sorry?
When would he start?
It just kind of depends. That'd be kind of an individual situation, based upon notice where they are. The gentleman that's owned all of the FBOs, he lives out west now in the Reno or Las Vegas area, but he wants to move here because to be closer to his family. His son is
Uric?
Huh?
Is that Uric?
Yeah. His son is a deputy in Ozark, Missouri. And the federal employee, federal aviation manager guy lives here in Greenbrier.
What's his name, Jeff?
Huh?
What's that gentleman's name?
Briley,
What's his first name?
Jacob
Jacob Briley.
Briley. He's he's comes pretty highly recommended from his superiors as well as a number of folks I think received calls from around the community recommending him. So anyway, that's where we are.
Good job, by the way, on that whole
Thank you.
search committee deal.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. The committee did a good job and met several times. So board members, Bill and let's see, I'm just looking at the folks that were involved. Robbie, Steve Stansel, one of our pilots out there, myself, William Otto, Roy Montgomery, Steve McGee, board member, Shane Henry, Brian Brannon, and Bill Atkinson. It's kind of the committee that interviewed me.
I don't know if y'all are aware, but Roy Montgomery just lost his wife here about 3 days ago.
I did not know
sorry.
that. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
What happened, you know?
She's been sick for.
Yeah. He's been her caregiver.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. In fact, he was kind of in and out of some meetings because he had to care for her early in the morning. Mary Ruth Montgomery's her name. I've known her for years. So, yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our update.
I'm wondering, and I'm not sure what dictates that we meet here. I know the mayor wants us to because I think it complies with some city requirement. I'm not sure what that is. And I, for one, would much prefer meeting at the airport. I think that from everyone I've talked to, there's a sentiment that would be more. Since we are one of the sole committees or commissions that has some responsibility for a given spot, the airport, unlike the others, it'd be more important to us. And I wonder if there would be a motion, if that's the sentiment of the committee, if there'd be a motion approved by this committee to ask the mayor that we'd be allowed to meet at the airport.
I would make, as a new board member, I mean, there's so much for me to learn. I don't know if you feel the same way, but.
Well, we
we're
need
talking
to be visible out there too, I think, to the community, the employees and the community, quite frankly. I would second that motion.
All these capital
What, I
projects.
wonder what the reason, what, anyone know the reason why so you can,
I've tried to call Felicia, but I'm not.
so the meeting can be recorded? Is that-
Jack said the main reason was so they're publicly available to view, but I believe we have that technology at the
I think
airport.
they can do that from the airport.
Yeah, I mean, I, I guess we use Teams, Microsoft Teams.
Or Zoom, either
Yeah,
one.
either one of those. I mean, I guess those are public meetings. You could send out the Zoom link for whomever wanted to participate. I don't know, but yeah. I mean,
I would make that motion. We prefer to meet at the airport.
I got a motion and a second. Any more discussion about that? All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed. Okay, that'll pass. And our next meeting is on the 28th or
I was gonna ask about the June meeting's on, right? Okay. Yeah.
23rd.
June 23.
Just looking at that.
So it was, okay, June 23rd.
I just want to say, guys, I don't know how much longer I'll be in this particular, but it's been an honor to sit here with y'all and go over it. You know, I'm sure I don't have the gift of gab like Jack did or the right report that thick, but I've enjoyed the time that I've been able to do it.
Thanks for your service. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, a thicker report's not better, by the way.
We'll be adjourned.
All right.
Very good.
All right.